Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chief Guest, distinguished guests, and esteemed participants, a very warm welcome to the virtual inaugural ceremony of the 7th National Conclave on Cyber Defense, SAJAG 2024, under the theme Cyber Resilience for Digital Era. This conclave, SAJAG 2024, brings together a diverse array of stakeholders from cybersecurity professionals to policymakers, academia, and industry leaders to collectively tackle the evolving challenges in the cyber domain. This event is organized by Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya. To commence this auspicious occasion, let us invoke the blessings of the divine with the lighting of the lamp, followed by Saraswati Varna. I request technical team to play the video.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीम् वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहाम् हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीम् पद्मासने संस्थिताम् वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीम् बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्
Thank you. On behalf of the university, I extend a heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Pant, former National Cyber Security Coordinator, Prime Minister's Office, Government of India. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Upinder Dhar and Dean Academics Dr. Anand Rajawat to virtually welcome our chief guest. I request technical team to play the welcome video. Thank you, sir. Your presence adds immense value to this ceremony. Now it's time to know the essence of SAJAG 2024. I invite Dr. Anand Rajawat, Dean Academics and Chairperson of SAJAG 2024, to shed light on the significance and journey of this prestigious conclave. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good morning to all. Honorable Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Pant ji, former National Cyber Security Coordinator, Prime Minister's Office, Government of India, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, Dr. Jigyasu Dubey, Convener SAJAG 2024, Mrs. Sweta Pandey and Mr. Rahul Chaudhary, Coordinators SAJAG 2024, Dr. Rupali Bharti, speakers of various plenary sessions, session chairs, dignitaries from various institute and industry across the country, deans, head of the institutes, head of the departments, delegates, press and media, faculty members, and my dear students. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the inaugural function of 7th National Conclave on Cyber Defense, SAJAG 2024, organized by Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya in association with National Cyber Safety and Security Standards. On the beginning, I would like to introduce SAJAG 2024. The SAJAG 2024 is the national conclave of its kind in Central India and is organized by the university 7th time. Universities successfully organized the first national conclave, SAJAG 2018, in March 18, the second national conclave, SAJAG 2019, in February 19, the third conclave, SAJAG 2020, in July 20, the fourth conclave, SAJAG 21, in March 21, fifth national conclave, SAJAG 22, in March 22, and sixth national conclave, SAJAG 23, in April 23. The seventh National Conclave on Cyber Defense, SAJAG 2024, seek to change the paradigm of how we look at digital space and security, critically measuring the impact of cybersecurity on the business operations and their security implications. The theme of SAJAG 2024 is Cyber Resilience for Digital Era. The increasing cyber attacks and threat landscape has raised security and privacy concerns in industrial and critical infrastructure environments. Data is the most valuable asset for malicious actors, and having intentions to steal, exploit, gain access to any form of encrypted or unencrypted data is their ultimate goal. To protect the data-driven autonomous, agile, and the intelligent smart manufacturing environment, it is essential to have a systematic process for developing a cybersecurity strategy and having an incident response for mitigating potential attack it may be vulnerable to. For developing a robust cybersecurity strategy, it is significant to understand the sophisticated technologies used within the environment, assess the risk it may be exposed to, implement standards and control to mitigate those risks, have threat intelligence and an incident response in place, and continuously monitor the ever-changing attack surface. The existing standards, governance, risk and control, that is GRC, may not completely mitigate compliance-based risk in situation of lack of alignment. As one standard may not fit all, each industry needs to have a distinct cybersecurity strategy based on the levels of security required, that is baseline, moderate, or maximum. Implementation of security standards and GRC mapped with the industry's operational environment. Having resilience enable an industry to be proactive and mitigate operation disruption and cyber risk scenarios. Cyber resilience in the digital era is critical for organizations to withstand and recover from cyber threats and attacks. It involves not only preventing breaches, but also ensuring that system, processes, and people can adopt and respond effectively to cyber incidents. Some key components which need to be considered includes effective risk assessment and management, robust security measures, incident response plan, continuous monitoring and detection system, employee training and awareness, regular updates and patch management, backup and recovery plan, collaboration and information sharing system, cyber insurance, and executive leadership involvement. By integrating this component into organizational cybersecurity strategy, organizations can build resilience to withstand the evolving threats landscape of the digital era. It is the time we need to focus on these key components for cyber resilience for digital era. Towards this goal, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, in association with National Cyber Safety and Security Standards, is carrying out extensive awareness, trainings, workshop, and educational campaign so that the public are made aware of the dangers of the internet and how they should be careful and avoid falling into the cyber traps using advanced technologies. SAJAG 2024 is also a step in this direction. Plenary session in SAJAG 2024 will focus on various aspects of cyber resilience for digital era and will also seek to share key research findings, lessons learned, best practices, as well as identify gaps in knowledge. Renowned speakers from academia, government agency, as well as from industry across the country in the field of cybersecurity will deliver expert talk during the conclave. Today, we have with us as keynote speaker, Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Pantji, former National Cybersecurity Coordinator, Prime Minister's Office, Government of India. In plenary session, we have with us as speakers, Ms. Sahala Khan, Global Black Belt, Data Security, Microsoft Asia, Mr. Ashish Bana, Advisory Solution Architect, IBM Security Expert Lab, ISA, IBM, Mr. Ashish Bhadoria, Product Security, Privacy and Compliance Engineer, Finland, Mr. Pradipta Patrov, Head of Cybersecurity and IT Platform at KEC International Limited, Mumbai, Maharashtra, Dr. Deepak Kumar, Senior Cyber Intelligence and Digital Forensic Expert, India, Mr. Prem Kulkarni, Research Associate, Cloud Security, Cloud at Microsoft. Once again, I am delighted to welcome Chief Guest Lieutenant General Rajesh Pantji, all the distinguished speakers, and all participants connected from various parts of the country. Happy learning to all. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. We are honored to have with us Dr. Upinder Dhar, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shri Vaishnav Vidyarthi Krishi Vidyalaya. Let's hear his welcome address as he shares his insights and vision for SAJAG 2020. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to all of you. Chief guest on this occasion, General Rajesh Pantji, Dr. Anand Rajawat, all the resource persons for SAJAG 2024, and my dear friends. As we know that cyber security is one of the very important issues today. On one hand, we are technologically advanced, and technological advancement has certainly improved the quality of life all over the world, not only in the country. But at the same time, there are certain challenges which all of us are facing. And that is why today we need to brainstorm on cyber resilience. In today's digital age, where technology is deeply integrated into every facet of our lives, the importance of building security resilience has never been more significant as it is today. Security concerns have exceeded beyond being merely IT or network issues. They now encompass societal and organizational dimensions. The question that emerges is, how do we establish cybersecurity resilience? While security measures can be applied to supply chains, organizational structures, and financial systems, it is paramount that security resilience remains at the forefront. Cybersecurity resilience has emerged as a top priority for companies in India, as a staggering 61.5% of organizations say they have experienced a security event that impacted business in the past 2 years. According to if we go by a Cisco study, a study was done recently by Cisco. If we go by that study, 61.5% of organizations in India have reported that they have encountered or they have experienced such challenges in the last 2 years. With stakes so high, it is no surprise that security resilience is a high priority for businesses across industries. So it is not for a particular industry, it is across industries. Because today, every industry is using IT for efficiency, effectiveness, and economy. Cybersecurity resilience has emerged, as I said, as a top priority because of the obvious reasons, as I have mentioned. Effective resilience requires a two-pronged research, a two-pronged approach. First, organizations must focus on prevention, implementing robust tools and processes to fortify their defenses. This is one. Second, they must develop strategies for swiftly mitigating and remediating security breaches when they do occur. The synergy, a strategic approach is required. The synergy, as we talk about resilience today, that has become very important as a strategic approach. The first crucial step in shaping a robust cyber resilience strategy is to carefully pinpoint your organization's vulnerabilities. This involves scrutinizing where sensitive data resides, identifying individuals handling critical business information, and assessing the equipment involved in vital processes. This internal awareness check lays the foundation for bolstering your cyber resilience. Once these weak spots are revealed, the next step revolves around safeguarding your most vital IT assets and processes. This entails revising security policies, reinforcing device encryption, curbing unauthorized external device usage, educating staff about cybersecurity significance, and implementing best practices to thwart malicious activities. Most enterprises rely on tools from multiple vendors to build their overall security infrastructure, which means they have multiple standalone solutions with little or no integration or shared remote telemetry. When solutions aren't working together, it has a snowball effect as the security team spends too much time maintaining and managing security tools and often lacks integration in their security portfolio. In order to achieve effective cyber programs, silos must be broken down and complexity must be reduced by integrating technology. See, today, as it can be seen, that integration is lacking. Many or tools are operating in silos. So that won't work in the future. That integration is necessary. In the present landscape of hybrid work networks are built around people and not locations, organizations must ensure that access is adaptive and employees are protected wherever they are, even as their location changes or they switch devices. And as they move from one application to the other or to the next. And all this needs to be achieved without compromising the user experience or productivity. Adding to this, there is a growing diversity of network traffic, including the usage of cloud-based applications and video conferencing platforms. This decentralization introduces vulnerabilities that opportunities cyber criminals can exploit. So on one hand, we are seeing advancement, we are seeing more use of technology, but at the same time, opportunities are in a way created for the cyber criminals. They are also seeing them as opportunities to pierce into the system. To effectively tackle these challenges, organizations must adopt a comprehensive security strategy that safeguards both office-based and remote environments, all the while ensuring the continuity of operations. One effective approach in this regard is implementing a zero trust model, where trust is never assumed. This includes verification of every user and device seeking to establish a connection with the network, thereby significantly reducing the likelihood of unauthorized access. Enforcing such a measure for network access also adds an extra layer of security, making it challenging for malicious actors to compromise user credentials. Over the past few years, XDR has also gained momentum as an emerging technology that holds the potential for addressing the gap by offering an open and unified approach to swiftly and effectively prevent, detect, and respond to threats. So as we can understand, this is an emerging subject that challenges today every organization. As I said, not only in the country, but even other countries. Therefore, this kind of opportunity to discuss on a single platform and know from the experts that what is the latest, what is happening, what are we planning to do now. Because on one hand, we cannot be complacent that, okay, we are technologically advanced today, quality of life, quality of work life is improving a great deal. At the same time, this advancement is seen as an opportunity by wrongdoers also. They are also finding ways to use technology for wrong purposes. So with these words, I welcome General Rajesh Pantji to this SAJAG 2024, and I also welcome other resource persons, and I'm sure that all of us will be richer in our understanding by the end of SAJAG 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for setting the stage with your wealth of information and thought-provoking perspectives on the theme Cyber Resilience for Digital Era. Your address has undoubtedly set the tone for an enriching and enlightening discussions ahead. Thank you. Now it's time for the introduction of our esteemed chief guest. I request Professor Rahul Chaudhary, coordinator of SAJAG 2024, as he introduces a distinguished chief guest for today's ceremony. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So it's privilege for me to introduce the profile of our honorable chief guest, Lieutenant General Rajesh Pant. Is a globally acknowledged expert in the field of cybersecurity. He previously served as the National Cybersecurity Coordinator in the Prime Minister Office of the Government of India, overseeing a period during which India ranking in the United Nations Global Cybersecurity Index is rose from 47 to the top 10. With a PhD in Information Security Matrices and MTech from the IIT Kharagpur and MPhil from the Madras University and Master of Management Study from the Osmania University, Dr. Pant is well versed in both academic and practical aspect of his field. So before his role as a National Cybersecurity Coordinator, he led the Army's cyber training establishment for 3 years and accumulating a total of 41 years of distinguished service in the Army Signals Corps. He received 3 prestigious awards from the President of India for his outstanding contribution during his military career. Dr. Pant served as the chairman of listed electronic company, acted as a peer review member of NAC, and he was a governing council member of IETE India. His extensive background encompasses military operations, academic excellence, corporate governance, and profound wisdom in realm of cybersecurity. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. It's indeed a privilege to have with us Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Panji. Let's eagerly listen to his keynote address on the crucial topic of cyber resilience in the digital world. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Upinder Dhar, Dean Dr. Ajawat, Professor Chaudhary, Professor Shweta Pandey, Dr. Santosh Dhar, Dr. Jigyasu Dubey, Dr. Rupali Bhartiya, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, let me first wish you a very, very good morning. Let me also compliment Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore for organizing the 7th National Conclave on Cyber Defense, SAJAG 2024, on a very timely and relevant theme of cyber resilience for the digital era. Now, why do I say timely and relevant? Firstly, timely. You see, 2024 is geopolitically one of the most turbulent years in recent human history. There are two major physical conflicts going on in Ukraine and Gaza. There are two major security hotspots in the South China Sea and in the western part of the Indian Ocean. There are elections in 60 nations in the world, and there is rising cybercrime. In fact, the World Economic Forum has said that cybercrime is the biggest man-made risk to the economic progress of nations, and they have said that the loss last year was 10 trillion US dollars. So it becomes the third largest economy in the world, cybercrime. Why is it relevant? Is because as a nation, India is heading for a $5 trillion economy in the next few years. And we just cannot afford any headwinds. Out of that 5 trillion, we want to get 1 trillion from our digital economy. And any headwinds in terms of cybercrime, cyber losses would just not be acceptable for the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister. So, what are the three hard truths of cyberspace today? One, that vulnerabilities will continue to exist as long as we depend on software and there is increasing softwareization taking place. Vulnerabilities will continue. You are aware of 5G as to how it has gone into network function virtualization, into software-defined networks. So more and more software-dependent aspects are coming into our lives. So vulnerabilities will continue. The second hard truth is that as long as there are vulnerabilities in cyber space, the attacks will take place. You cannot stop the attacks from taking place from around the world. And the third hard truth is that the attribution of these attacks will be as difficult as what it is today for obvious reasons. For those who have studied this aspect, you can see that the attacks come through 2 to 3 hops. That means he hires a server in US and from there he's coming, and behind that he's hired a server in Netherlands and Germany, and he's actually somewhere else, maybe close to us. And why is he coming through democracies is because the privacy laws in these nations are very strict. So if I ask Microsoft Azure or Google as to who has paid for this server, more often than not, they will not reveal because of privacy aspects. That is why the attacks come through 2-3 hops. So this is the hard truths: vulnerabilities, attacks, and attribution. Now, what is the solution? The solution is exactly what your theme says, that we have to be prepared and create a resilient cyberspace. That means, how do we continue to ensure business continuity in the face of cyber attacks, period. That is all that we have to now think of. Now, how have these cyber attacks increased? Let me spend a few minutes on that. The first thing is that the threat surface has increased. So for India, we have, let's say, 800 million mobile phones, 1.28 billion registered IDs in Aadhaar. earlier we had about 5 billion globally internet connected endpoints. Now in 5G, the IoT, the Internet of Things devices have also been connected to the internet. They also have IP addresses. And in an average American home today, there are about 7 IoT devices. So suddenly this figure of 5 billion threat surface has jumped to 25 billion. So the threat surface has increased exponentially, and that is why the attacks have also increased. The second reason is that there is a lack of international laws. You'll be surprised to know that it took the United Nations 20 years to come out with 11 non-binding norms for responsible behavior by states in cyberspace. The first UNGGE, GGE is the group of government experts, was formed in 2002. And just last year, there has been consensus in the UN General Assembly on these 11 norms. I was a member of the last GGE also, and I can tell you every word that you speak there in that forum, you say that network should be trusted. So someone raises his hand and says, what do you mean by trust? So it is very difficult. And that is why there is a lack of international laws. People have forgotten the Italian manual. We have to depend on Interpol and some other organizations. Lack of attribution, I have already told you. If you come to our National Informatics Center in Delhi, they have a huge screen on a wall which apparently shows from where the attacks are coming from. And on that screen, you find that 40% of the attacks emanate from mainland US. But that is not the case. It is only showing you the last IP for reasons that I explained to you earlier. So it is very difficult to attribute. There have been some attributions made by US and UK in the recent past by naming some actors in Russia, China, etc. But that is based on more on the political aspects, the security aspects, and the intent, as also a little bit of the technical aspects. So it's a mixture of I would say it's a political decision, if nothing else. Then we have the dark web, and I'm sure all of you are aware as to what happens in the dark web. Anything wrong that you can think of happens there, whether it is drugs, whether it is porn, whether it is credit debit cards, whether it is arms, you want someone to get killed. Everything is happening there. The money exchange is taking place in bitcoins, and which are difficult to trace, cryptocurrency. So that is another reason why cybercrime is increasing. Then what has happened is that a new phenomenon called crime as a service has started. An example of that is ransomware as a service. So earlier, there was, let's say one group like the Hive group or some other group that was carrying out ransomware attacks. Now you find there is an access broker. The access broker is already sitting in the enterprises. He is already sitting in 100 companies. And he also knows those 100 companies how much cyber insurance they have taken. So if you go to him, he'll tell you from this company, you can get $100 million ransom, this company $50 million, etc. Then there is an expert in the exfiltration part. There is an expert in the encryption. There is an expert in the cryptocurrency part who will help you out with the payments. And then there is a negotiator. Since I have been part of a couple of ransomware attacks, you suddenly find that a negotiator pops up and he says, "अच्छा ठीक है, आपने 2 Bitcoin नहीं देने तो 1.9 Bitcoins दे दीजिए." And you do not know actually whose side he's on. So it's a proper enterprise. It's a global enterprise that has been created. So earlier when there was one technical group, today anyone with an evil mind goes to these people who are offering ransomware as a service, gives them their 10, 15, 20% and then makes money. So today every cartel that is there, whether it is the Yakuza of Japan or the Mexican cartels or the Italian mafia, everyone has got a very thriving cyber crime business. And of course, there are nation states also. This is what I'm saying is in the open domain, that once the sanctions were obtained or put in North Korea from cybercrime, they have managed to get about $1 billion through cybercrime. So crime as a service is important. And finally, what has happened is that technology today, in terms of artificial intelligence, has again given a new twist to cybercrime. Some of the attacks we find taking place today, they come as with a malware. They have the ability to see what is the type of defense that we have got, and then he changes the malware and transforms into something which appears very benevolent and bypasses that malware using various AI techniques. So those of you who are in this field would be aware that today we are in the 6th generation of cyber attacks. So when I say sixth generation of cyber attacks, I also mean the sixth generation of cyber defense. And this started from the 1980s when the PCs came out. So for the PC, we only had an antivirus. So there was an attack was on the PC and the defense was antivirus. Then the PCs got connected. So the attack, the second generation is the attack on the networks. And for that, firewalls, etc. had to be put. Then in the 2000, the application started. So the attacks were on the applications. And again, there were various intrusion prevention systems, etc. we started. In 2010, the 0 days came out. So a lot of behavioral analytics, etc., had to be done. In 2000, suddenly because of the digital transformation and the COVID that took place, the defense became perimeterless. Work from home started. So again, a different type of defense was required for that. And Vice Chancellor mentioned the 0 day, etc. And today, every year so far, it was happening in 10 years. Now I'm predicting 2025 is now the sixth generation of cyber defense and cyber attacks, which is going to be based on AI, and you're going to be finding more and more difficult types of attacks to take place. So this is the scenario as far as the cyberspace and cyber attacks is concerned. What is the solution? I think Dr. Upinder Dhar has very rightly pointed out that the solution lies in people, process, technologies, and cooperation. And for all those who are listening, it's a very easy acronym to remember. PowerPoint is PPT, people, process, and technologies. And I have added cooperation because with my experience in my last appointment, I found that especially threat intel, you see, a firewall is a dumb box. Unless you tell a firewall what to block, whether you want to whitelist or blacklist, it we created a counter ransomware initiative of 36 nations. And in that initiative, we created resilience verticals, which I was leading. And in one of the operations that I can share with you, we were able to enter the network of one of these ransomware actors. And we sat there for about 3 months. And in those 3 months, whenever he carried out a ransomware attack, we took out the decryption keys from his network and gave it to that particular firm. So with that, about $150 million of ransom could be saved. And then after 3 months, we brought him down. So that is the power of international cooperation. And in this field, working with Interpol and other agencies in the US, UK, Australia, Japan, Singapore, countries that are good in cybersecurity makes a lot of difference. So people, process, technology. People implies education and awareness. Very, very important. You have for prevention. People implies training. People also implies keeping them, sending out messages of phishing just to see how they react, etc. A lot of aspects can be done. In the processes, as was mentioned, you have to have a cybersecurity policy. You have to have a cyber crisis management plans. You have to have those audits done, etc. The vulnerability analysis, penetration testing. These days, is the concept of CART, continuous automated red teaming, etc. So a lot of processes can be put in place. And technology is what Dr. Dhar also mentioned, zero trust. Trust nothing and verify everything. And there is a whole spectrum from the technology point of view, not only the XDR that is mentioned, the network, the cloud, the data centers, the applications, and the human mind. Everything has to can be taken care of from the technology. So that there's a wide spectrum. Solutions are coming out today for all these aspects of securing. So with that, let me come to some of the initiatives that we have taken at a national level so that at least all of you are aware as to what the government of India is doing. Firstly, for education and awareness, there's a 800 crore program called the ISA program, the Information Security Education and Awareness, run by MIT. That's a program being implemented through SAJAG
There must be a connection issue with Chief Guest. Please wait for him to join.
I think he is out.
Yes, sir.
बाहर गया हाँ
He's
yes,
back
he's back.
again.
Am
Yes, sir. Please
I
continue.
audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope it was not a cyber attack against my talk.
Yes.
Please continue. Your voice is not coming.
So the connection is again lost. That's why.
This is why cyber resilience is important.
Right, sir.
फोन से कांटेक्ट कर लीजिए.
जी
Contact him on your phone. मोबाइल पे कांटेक्ट करिए.
जी जी.
Am I audible now, please?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay. So this seems to have been a live demo of a cyber attack against my speech. That's so let me just continue. I was talking of the incident response at the national level. And what we've done is that because of our sheer scale and size as a nation, we've created incident response teams in every sector. So the power sector, for example, has issued very extensive guidelines through the Central Electricity Authority, which is their regulator. Similarly, for the telecom sector, we have issued guidelines. Similarly, for all the financial BFSI sector, etc., RBI has issued guidelines. So there is a national computer emergency response team, and there are sectoral incident response team, and that is how we work. In addition, today the states have also got the state wide area networks and the state data centers. So they've also started a security operations center concept at a state level. So that is how the incident response is organized at a national level and at a state level. For the critical sectors, and this is important, as a nation, if everything is critical, then nothing is critical. So as a nation, we've divided and decided on 7 sectors that we consider critical. And that includes your telecom, that includes power, that includes transportation, it includes the BFSI sector, it includes the government strategic sector, and we have added the health sector recently as a critical sector. And to protect these 7 critical sectors of the nation, we have created an organization called the NCIIPC, the National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, located in Delhi and various branches, especially for these 7 sectors. For cyber diplomacy, we have created a wing in the Ministry of External Affairs that carried out cyber diplomacy with all the other nations. For the legal aspects, last year was again a historic year at the national point of view, because on 12th August last year, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDP Act, was signed by the President. And this is a very important act, and you should study this as to how there is a concept of a data principal, a data fiduciary, and a data processor, and how the privacy is going to be maintained. And the fines, in case there is a data breach, go up to 250 crore rupees. So you will find after the elections, the notifications will start coming out on this, and this will get implemented over the next 1 year. So this is a very important act that was passed last year. And in December last year, again, the Telecom Act was passed, which superseded the Telegraph Act of 1885. So look at the things that the government has done. It has changed the IPC also. In the new role of the IPC, the Digital Act has been passed, Telecom Act has been passed, and various rules. If you recall the 28th April 22 directive of the CERT, where it was mandated that reporting will be done within 6 hours and KYC will be maintained, etc. So these are the regulations and the laws that are coming up. From the supply chain of point of view, Dr. Dhar also mentioned the importance of supply chain. And the supply chain, let me tell you, is both the hardware as well as the software. Because if you recall the attack that took place in the US, the SolarWinds case, the malware came through the software update. So this is very important. So how do we know that the software update does not contain the malware? So for the supply chain, the government has created a national security directive on the telecom sector, which mandates that any equipment connected to the telecom network of India has to be a trusted equipment from a trusted source. And there is a process behind it as to what is a trusted source. It is the company, which is, we go into the ultimate beneficiary of the company. Does it have any relations with the military of the nation, etc.? And then in the trusted product, we come down to the level of the silicon as to where are the chips coming from. So this is what the government has done. Then we have created for the forensics, National Forensic Science University, you're aware, a national cyber exercise is conducted at a national level. And the new strategy, which is in the offing that people are wanting the nation to have, is also the draft is ready. It has a whole of a nation approach. It has a concept of CBDR, a common but differentiated responsibility, which implies that to protect national cyberspace, what is the responsibility of the citizen, what is the responsibility of business, what is the responsibility of academia, and what is the responsibility of the government. So this is a common but differentiated responsibility. It will all come out in the new strategy as well as it comes out. And the aim is to create a safe, secure, resilient, trusted, and vibrant cyberspace for the prosperity of the nation. That is the vision of the new strategy. So with that, let me try and conclude and sum up as to what I have shared with you today. I have told you that this subject and the theme that you have selected is very timely and relevant for the reasons that I gave about geopolitics and relevance in terms of our national aspirations and because of the crime that has increased. So let me compliment the organizers for selecting this theme. You have a very good panel of speakers I was seeing from the names that were being announced and the brochure that you have created. And I must compliment once again Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya for organizing this event. Thank you very much for giving me this honor. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your enlightening keynote address on cyber resilience for the digital era. Your insights have undoubtedly provided us with invaluable perspectives as we embark on this journey towards fortifying our cyber defenses. Your expertise and guidance will continue to inspire us as we navigate the complexities of the digital landscape. Once again, thank you for gracing us with your presence and sharing your profound knowledge with us. Thank you. Before we conclude the remarkable ceremony, let us express our gratitude to all those who have contributed for the success of this event. I now invite Professor Shweta Pandey, coordinator of SAJAG 2024, to deliver the words of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Pantji, former National Cyber Security Coordinator, Prime Minister's Office, Government of India, Dr. Upinder Dhar, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore, respected Chairperson of the Conclave, Dr. Anand Rajawat, Dean Academics and Director, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Information Technology, respected Convener of the Conclave, Dr. Jigyasu Dubey, Professor and Head Department of IT, distinguished speakers, session chairs and attendees. It is with great pleasure and honor that I extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to all of you who participated in the inaugural session of the 7th Conclave on Cyber Defense. First and foremost, I would like to thank our chief guest and keynote speaker, Lieutenant General Dr. Rajesh Pantji, for accepting our invitation and sparing his valuable time and for sharing his knowledge with us. Your talk has set the tone for the rest of the conclave and provided an excellent foundation for the discussions to follow. I would also like to express my deepest gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Upinder Dhar for his constant support and encouragement towards this conclave. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Santosh Dhar, Rector and Dean, FDSR, SVVV, for her constant motivation and guidance towards SAJAG. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Anand Rajawat, Dean Academics and Director FAIT, for his leadership and support towards SAJAG. Your vision, expertise, and dedication have been an inspiration to me and my team. I am also thankful to Dr. Jigyasu Dubey, Professor and Head of Department IT, for all the efforts that you have put to make this event SAJAG a success. You have been instrumental in providing us with the necessary resources and guidance to make this conclave a reality. I would like to thank all the attendees who have taken the time to participate in this conclave. Your engagement and commitment to cybersecurity are truly inspiring, and we hope that the rest of the conclave will continue to be as productive and engaging as today's inaugural session. Once again, thank you to everyone who has contributed to the success of this inaugural session. We look forward to the rest of the conclave and continuing the important discussions and collaboration in the field of cybersecurity. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for the words of gratitude. Now, with the spirit of unity and patriotism, let us now rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone, for your enthusiastic participation in the virtual inaugural ceremony of the 7th National Conclave on Cyber Defense, SAJAG 2024. Let the discussion and collaborations on this conclave pave the way for a resilient digital future. Good day to all. Jai Hind. Our first plenary session of SAJAG 2024 will begin at 11
Thank you very much,
p.m.
General sir. Thank you.
All of you are requested to join the
Thank you,
plenary
sir.
session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. Thank you, sir.
अब आगे बढ़ाई.
All the participants are requested to join the first plenary session, which will begin at 11 a.m. So please join on time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all. 11 बजे ज्वाइन करें सभी लोग. ठीक है.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.